Hello, everyone, and welcome to this important episode of Ignition Time. President Biden has signed the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. In this video, I'll give you new details about when you're likely to get your $1,400 stimulus checks. Also, I'll answer some important questions about wage garnishment. There is a bit of a surprise in this third stimulus check, because it went through the process of reconciliation. There is actually a different implication when it comes to wage garnishment, and I'll give you new information about the impact of the stimulus check on the middle class, including the affordability of health insurance. Here's a new article on your screen from CNBC. The first $1,400 stimulus checks will go to those with direct deposit. Now that President Biden has signed the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, the US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is going to instruct the IRS to start sending out the stimulus check payments. If the IRS has your direct deposit information on file, and if the IRS does indeed have that information on file, you should have received an electronic deposit of the first check and the second check. You should now be getting the third stimulus check, the $1,400 stimulus check, by direct deposit, and you should be among the first people to get these checks. I've received word from our sources in Washington that the checks could start going out in the next 24 to 48 hours, the electronic deposits, and the paper checks will start to be mailed and could take a few weeks to arrive, depending on how the IRS is mailing out the checks and depending on how overloaded the United States Postal Service is. Also, new reporting from the New York Times, and you'll see this headline on your screen, suggests that the new stimulus package brings big benefits to the middle class. From childcare to healthcare, there are a bunch of tax changes and subsidies that provide a lot of benefits to the middle class through this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. One of the most significant things, other than the $1,400 stimulus checks and the $300 a week booster through the 6th of September through Labor Day, is a tax credit for parents, to help parents and to also alleviate child poverty. So the most significant change is the child tax credit, which will be increased up to $3,600 for children under the age of 6 for 2021, from $2,000 per child. So it goes all the way from $2,000 to $3,600 for children under the age of 6 just for this year, for 2021. Now, this credit is refundable for people with low tax bills, is $3,000 per child age 6 through the age of 17. Now, this credit is gone completely for individuals earning over $200,000 per year and couples earning more than $400,000 per year. Now, similar to the stimulus payments, this expanded credit will start to phase out for individuals making more than $75,000 a year and married couples making more than $150,000 a year, based on your most recent tax return that is on file with the IRS. Now that the president has signed this massive $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, if your 2020 tax situation changed and it helps you get more stimulus checks, you may want to file right away. This bill also bolsters tax credits that parents receive to subsidize the cost of childcare, which is something quite incredible in this particular bill. The current credit is worth 20% to 35% of eligible expenses, with a maximum value of $2,100 for 2 or more qualifying adults. So the stimulus bill actually increases that to $4,000 for one qualifying individual, or $8,000 for 2 or more qualifying individuals. Now, there are two big changes which make health insurance cheaper for the average American, including middle-income Americans. This legislation will now allow upper middle-income Americans to be eligible to buy plans on the Affordable Care Exchange, the Obamacare marketplace. And basically what it does is premiums for those individuals will cost no more than 8.5% of their modified adjusted gross income. In other words, let's say you buy health insurance, your premium will not cost you more than 8.5% of your adjusted gross income. The government will essentially pay for the rest. This is quite significant, everyone. Another big benefit for the middle class is that this stimulus package makes it easy for newly unemployed workers to get insurance through the COBRA program, which allows people to buy their former employer's health benefits, and the COBRA premiums will be fully paid by the federal government through September of this year. I'll provide our viewers and subscribers with the links to all of our resources in the description section below. Here's another important resource from CNBC, what you need to know about the third round of stimulus payments. Let's actually scroll down this article, and I want to show you this significant component of this article, what to do if you haven't received the first stimulus check or the second stimulus check, or if you didn't get the full amount. you need to pay attention to the recovery rebate credit. So what's the bottom line? If you believe you're eligible for the first stimulus check or the second stimulus check and you didn't receive either of them, or you didn't receive the full amount, then you will qualify for a recovery rebate credit, and you'll need to pay attention to your 2020 tax return, specifically talking about line 30 of your 2020 form 1040 or 1040 SR. Here's a page directly from the IRS website which gives you more information about the recovery rebate credit, which is going to be on line 30 of form 1040 or form 1040 SR, or you can speak to a tax professional. So make sure you check out the links in our resources before you file your taxes if you want to take advantage of the recovery rebate credit section before filing your 2020 tax returns to the IRS. So make sure you check out all the links in the resources section. Now let's get to the part about garnishment, folks. And I have to tell you that this may not be the best news for some viewers and subscribers. Here's a headline of an article on your screen from CNBC. New $1,400 stimulus checks could be garnished for unpaid debt, and some are calling for that to change. Unlike the first two stimulus checks, this stimulus package, the American Rescue Plan, which was already signed by the president earlier than expected, this stimulus bill, the stimulus checks could be subject to garnishment because they were not passed traditionally like the first and the second stimulus checks. They were passed through the process of budget reconciliation. Unfortunately, these $1,400 stimulus checks are not protected from garnishment for unpaid debts, and this is definitely going to create some financial pressure for families. Again, this is because of the way the bill was passed, and many consumer and banking trade groups, including the American Bankers Association, actually sent a letter to Congress, to the House and the Senate, and basically they said this, I'll quote the letter: otherwise the families that most need this money, those struggling with debt and whose entire bank accounts may be frozen by garnishment orders, will not be able to access their funds. We're going to have to wait to get word from the House and the Senate about whether they pass any law, any amendment to prevent the stimulus checks. I'm talking about the $1,400 stimulus checks, to prevent them from being garnished for unpaid debts. Now, here's something that's ironic. If you are getting the funds electronically, then your bank account information could be accessed by someone who you owe money in order to be able to garnish the debt. And it's not like you can just go and change your bank account and change your routing number. So unfortunately, individuals who get deposits electronically could be subject to garnishment for unpaid debts by people, by the individuals or organizations that money is owed to. Now, people who receive paper checks, and this is quite interesting, do have another way out. According to Aaron Klein, who's a senior fellow in economic studies at the Brookings Institution, he pointed out that it's a strong incentive for people to cash their checks at retail stores or check cashers instead of through their banks, but they may incur higher fees in doing so, and this way they can essentially get the money directly in their hands. Quite an interesting idea. Jeff Stein from the Washington Post also points out this problem, if you will. Here's a tweet on your screen from Jeff Stein. Important question, not getting enough attention. Well, it is, because we at the Ignition Time channel are shining a spotlight on this. The shielding of these collections was stripped out of the Biden bill because of the rules of the reconciliation process. So if you're looking to blame someone, I completely understand. I don't believe President Biden is to blame. I believe the process is to blame. The Democrats, because they use the process of budget reconciliation with just a simple majority, 51 votes, they ended up with 50 votes. They didn't need 51 because there were 49 Republicans who voted against it. So they didn't need the tie-breaking vote from the Vice President Kamala Harris. But it's the process that is at fault. So this was stripped out of the Biden bill due to the rules of the reconciliation process. Now, Democrats have said that they'll try and pass a standalone bill in order to protect the third round of stimulus checks from collections. And here's an article on your screen from Hannah Levintona, who's a reporter for Mother Jones. Unfortunately, even though stimulus checks are on the way, debt collectors could still seize them because of the process of budget reconciliation. There's nothing right now in the new legislation to prevent stimulus funds from being garnished. So that was it, everyone. New details on the $1,400 stimulus checks, who gets what you can do if you didn't get the first stimulus check and the second stimulus check, how to use a recovery rebate credit on line 30 of the IRS form 1040 or 1040 SR, what you should know as far as garnishment is concerned, and the new benefits for the middle class in this new stimulus package as it pertains to health insurance, as it pertains to child tax credits. I hope you learned something new. I would really appreciate it if you click the like button If you subscribe, if you enable notifications, you're getting tons of content, you're getting tons of value, and it is my absolute pleasure to do that. It is my privilege to be able to have your time and to be able to give you the latest news without the fluff. All I ask for is you please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I'll wait. It'll just take a second. I'll wait. Go ahead. That was it. See, that was easy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye. I'm still waiting. If you haven't clicked the like button yet, please. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.